Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. Today's concept is Jiyu Ippon Kumite. Now we've done Ippon Kumite at all of the levels, with the goal being to take the different kinds of hand formation strikes, the different kinds of kicks that we've learned, put those into our own self-defense technique. To introduce that, we use basically 5 basic attacks. We can add on to that at a certain point, however you want to in your dojo. I use, similar to McCarthy Sensei's habitual acts of physical violence, where he's cataloged 36. Of those 36, a lot of them are where we're already engaged with our opponent, where he's already grabbed us, things like headbutts and bear hugs and those kinds of things, which are not a one-off attack that you might get in a more open fighting, open terrain type of an attack. So I have essentially 21 types of attacks that I base on, and we could add the other 15 from McCarthy's list as well. The idea being that if I'm facing an opponent in a self-defense scenario, I'm positioning myself, I'm working ranging, I'm working center, all of those kinds of things, and then something bad happens, okay? When we did Ippon Kumite, we start very formal, uke kamai, tori kamai, he goes jodan, hey! I do my block, and then depending on which level techniques I'm working at, I might be working Ippon Ken, I might be working Mawashigeri, I might be working double responses, we might be adding Tweety at a certain point, but the idea is we're set, he's set, he attacks jodan, hey! I do my defense, next one he attacks chudan, hey! I do my defense. He attacks Maigeri, hey, I do my defense. He attacks Mawashigeri, hey, I do my defense. I'm not going to do the throw right now. He attacks Dokogeri, hey, I do my defense. Okay? Whatever it is you're going to do with those 5 attacks. Now what we're going to do, because those also tend to be the attacks that most people use when we're just working sparring. So if we were free sparring, right, I might be throwing a high punch. If we're working free sparring, he might throw a front kick or front whatever. And I want to be ready and defend against whatever that is. So the intermediate level to build up my repertoire of responses to his 5 basic attacks is called Jiyu Ippon Kumite, free one step. Rather than it being a random attack like that kind of just was, I wasn't expecting the punch, and he punched, and then he kicked. Still got to respond. But now we're going to be moving like Kumite. The first key thing is I'm ranging. I don't want to be so far that he can build momentum, which is also so far that I can't reach. So as we're working our footwork, I'm working on what my distance is to him. Then, at a certain point during this free movement, he will then do those 5 attacks. And he's going to come in with his jodan, right? And I'm going to do my defense at that point. Then I'll come back into sparring, and he's going to attack chudan, and I'm going to do my defense. Then we're going to be sparring, and he's going to do his kick, and I'm going to do my defense. Okay? Then he's going to do his roundhouse kick, and I'm going to do my defense. Then he's going to do his side thrust kick, and I'm going to do my defense. Whatever you choose to do at that point. So, the idea is, I still know what the attack's going to be. I can even cue when I want them to come in. At the more advanced level, I'm not cueing. He's going to keep the sequence, but I know at some point during this movement, I don't know when, I have no idea. Oh, there he is! Now he's done his technique. Now I might take my turn. He doesn't know. And he's going to do his defense. This helps build us toward full Jiyu Kumite with the ability to snapshot, focusing on an individual defensive technique. Jiyu Ippon Kumite is a great intermediate to sparring. Now, if we were doing throws and holds, we might have a similar situation, but it might be less of a kumite combative and more of a defense. Hey, keep back. And all of a sudden he comes in and he's going to punch me with that hand. Okay, now I do my technique from that position. Okay? He might come in with chokes or bear hugs or whatever it's going to be. I don't know. Ha! He's got the chokehold, right? And I'm going to do my defense to that chokehold. We can add that in a self-defense-ish Jiyu Ippon. So I'm not just saying, okay, choke me. He does a two-hand choke. I do a technique. All static. That's a great place. We have to start there. We have to learn that. But at a certain point, I'm like, look, dude, I don't need this. And he gets all random. Now, crap gets a little more real. Okay? That's the evolution of Jiyu Ippon Kumite. Whether in the self-defense scenario or, as in the earlier version, a free sparring scenario. Hey, arigatou gozaimasu. Just a little intermediate step to add as you train technique sparring, technique-based sparring defenses. Now, we can then go and work on offenses in sparring as well. That becomes a whole other subject, which is somewhere down the list there. That's it for today. Thank you for joining. Hope that gives you kind of an incremental, a taxonomy way of teaching your sparring techniques. Until next week, let's keep practicing.